The Freedom and Tellurian vessels attacked from multiple angles, forcing the Dominion to split its defenses. The Defiant, running with minimal power to avoid detection, slipped through a gap in the shields. "We're in," Olivia reported as they entered a massive hangar bay. "Seal the bulkheads," Laura ordered. "Prepare for boarding parties." They fought their way through the Dominion's corridors, facing hegemonist guards. The volunteer Marines cleared a path to the central core, while Olivia hacked door controls and security systems. Finally, they reached the heart of the vessel, a chamber containing the Dominion's main power source. "Perfect spot for our reactor," Steve said. Laura opened a channel to all Allied ships. "We're in position. Clear the area around the Dominion." As Steve prepared the reactor for overload, Laura looked at her small team. "You should go with the evacuation pods. I'll stay to finish this." "We started together," Olivia said. "We'll finish together." Outside, Earth and Rebel ships pulled back as the Dominion's hull began to glow from the inside. The skeleton crew had said their goodbyes and made peace with their choice. A blinding flash lit up Earth's sky as the Defiant's reactor detonated. The Dominion shattered, its fragments burning in the atmosphere like falling stars. In command centers around the world, cheers erupted as the hegemonist threat ended. The remaining loyal ships, seeing their leaders destroyed, either surrendered or fled. 1 week later, representatives from Earth met with delegates from 23 former Council species. The Galactic Council was dissolved and replaced with a new alliance of free worlds where all members had equal voices. Humanity had answered fire with fire, and in doing so, freed not just their world, but many others. The Defiant returned to Earth with its Tellurian allies and news of the rebellion. But they found a world still under attack. While many Council ships had stopped fighting after the broadcast, the hegemonists refused to surrender. Their remaining loyal forces targeted civilian areas in revenge. "They're trying to force us to give up before the rebellion spreads," Admiral Peterson said in the Emergency Command Center. Laura looked at the tactical displays showing fires in major cities worldwide. "How many ships do we have operational with the new technology?" "Just the Defiant and Freedom," the Admiral replied. "The Liberty was damaged but might be repaired in a few days." "That's not enough," Laura said. Commander Xen stepped forward. His fellow Tellurians had been helping Earth's engineers understand Council technology. "We have 13 ships from 5 different species now supporting your world," he said, "but the hegemonist flagship is approaching. The Dominion itself." Satellite imagery confirmed it. The massive star-shaped vessel had left lunar orbit and was heading toward Earth, surrounded by loyal ships. "They're going to make an example of us," Laura said, "to try to stop the rebellion from spreading further." President Miller joined the meeting via secure video. Her face was tired but determined. "Captain Wells, your mission was successful beyond all hopes," she said. "But now we face their final attack. What do you recommend?" Laura took a deep breath. "We need to take out the Dominion once and for all. Not just disable it. Destroy it." "How?" Multiple voices asked at once. Steve, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "The fusion reactor on the Defiant. If we overload it inside the Dominion, it would be a one-way mission," Dr. Moore said quietly. The room fell silent, as everyone understood the implication. "I'll do it," Laura said firmly. "No," Admiral Peterson countered. "We can rig an automated system. No need for a suicide mission." "With respect, sir, we can't risk failure. Someone needs to ensure the reactor detonates in exactly the right place." After hours of debate, a plan formed. The Earth and Allied ships would engage the hegemonist forces, while the Defiant, with a skeleton volunteer crew, would penetrate the Dominion's defenses and detonate its reactor in the ship's core. As preparations were made, Laura walked the halls of the Defiant one last time. She found Olivia in the computer lab. "You don't have to come," Laura said. "Yes, I do," Olivia replied without looking up from her work. "Someone needs to hack their systems to get us inside." Steve was already in the engine room, making final adjustments to the reactor. "It will work," he said when Laura checked on him. "The explosion will be equivalent to 50 nuclear bombs. And you're still volunteering to stay until the end." He nodded. "Someone has to make sure nothing goes wrong." The final battle began the next morning. The Dominion entered Earth orbit, its weapons charging. Allied ships engaged the loyal hegemonist vessels, while the Defiant, accompanied by the Freedom and 3 Tellurian ships, approached the massive command vessel. "Their shields are concentrated forward," Commander Xen reported from one of the Tellurian ships. "We will draw their fire. Good luck, friends." The 3 ships hid in the moon's shadow, watching the massive Dominion. It was unlike any vessel they had seen before, shaped like a giant star with 5 points, each nearly a mile long. Smaller Council ships moved around it in a defensive pattern. "Their shields are strongest near the center," Commander Xen explained, pointing to holographic displays on the Defiance bridge. "That is where the hegemonist leaders are located." "How many ships are protecting it?" Laura asked. 15 that we can detect," Olivia reported. "Too many for a direct attack." "We don't need to destroy the Dominion," Sen said. "We need to disable its communication systems. Without orders from their leaders, many Council ships will stop fighting." Laura studied the tactical display. "So we need to hit this section here." She pointed to what looked like a massive antenna array on one point of the star. "Exactly," Sen agreed. "But we must also send a message to all Council species at the same time." "What message?" Steve asked. "The truth," Sen said simply. "That the hegemonists have lied to all of us. That they don't protect the galaxy. They conquer it for themselves." Laura nodded. "Olivia, can you prepare a transmission to be sent on all Council frequencies?" "Already working on it," Olivia replied. "But we'll need to get close to their main communication relay to override their systems." "I have a plan," Laura said. She outlined her strategy quickly. The Tellurian ship would pretend to be returning from patrol and approach the Dominion. The Defiant would hide behind it, using the Tellurian vessel as cover. The Freedom would circle around and attack from the opposite side as a distraction. "It's risky," Commander Xen said. "If they scan your ship." "Your ship will block their scanners," Steve said. "We've studied their technology. It should work." The plan was set in motion. The Tellurian vessel moved away from the moon with the Defiant following close behind, hidden from the Dominion sensors. The Freedom took a wide arc around to the far side of the massive command ship. On the Defiance bridge, Laura watched the distance to their target shrink. "Freedom in position." "Yes, Captain," Olivia confirmed. "They're ready. Tell them to attack in 30 seconds. Half a minute later, the Freedom opened fire on the far side of the Dominion. Council defense ships immediately moved to respond, leaving a gap in their formation. "Now," Laura ordered. The Tellurian ship accelerated toward the Dominion with the Defiant right behind it. Council vessels were too busy with the Freedom to notice them approach. "We're in range of their communication array," Olivia reported. "Fire," Laura commanded. The Defiant's weapons struck the giant antenna with precision. Explosions rippled across the structure. At the same time, Olivia sent their prepared message on all Council frequencies. The video showed the true history of the hegemonists, how they had conquered species after species, forcing them to join the Council as servants rather than equals. It included evidence from the Tellurians, the Arctians, and other oppressed species. "We're getting responses," Olivia said excitedly. "Council ships are acknowledging the transmission. Some are standing down." But the Dominion wasn't defeated yet. It turned its main weapons toward the Defiant, preparing to fire. "Evasive maneuvers," Laura shouted. The Defiant rolled away as energy beams cut through space where they had been moments before. The Tellurian ship wasn't as lucky. It took a direct hit to its engines. "Sen's ship is disabled," Olivia reported. "Get them out of there," Laura ordered. "Prepare for emergency docking." The Defiant moved alongside the damaged Tellurian vessel. Magnetic clamps engaged, connecting the two ships. Bring their crew aboard, Laura said, then set course for Earth. As Tellurian survivors hurried aboard the Defiant, the ship's sensors detected multiple new contacts. More ships approaching, Olivia said, her voice tense. Then she looked up in surprise. They're not attacking. They're forming up around us, protecting us. On the main screen, ships of different designs, clearly from different Council species, positioned themselves between the Defiant and the Dominion. Commander Xen limped onto the bridge, his silver-blue face showing both pain and hope. It has begun, he said. The rebellion we have waited for centuries. Laura looked at the tactical display, where more and more Council ships were breaking formation, turning against the hegemonists. Let's head home, she said. The real war is just starting. The Defiant docked at a hidden underwater base, now one of the few safe places on Earth. Council ships controlled the skies over every major city. Ground fighting had broken out in some areas, but the aliens seemed more interested in securing key resources than killing humans. Laura led her team to the war room, where Admiral Peterson waited with grim-faced military leaders. 3 more of our ships have been modified with the new technology, the Admiral said. U.S. Freedom, U.S. Liberty, and U.S. Justice. They're ready for launch. And we have new information, Laura added. She nodded to Olivia, who displayed data from the captured Council ship. The Council fleet is controlled from a command vessel beyond the moon, Olivia explained. It's called the Dominion, and it's much larger than the other ships. Can we attack it? Someone asked. Not directly, Laura said, but the Tellurians have provided us with access codes and tactical information. The room erupted in questions. Admiral Peterson raised his hand for silence. Who are these Tellurians? He asked. A species forced to serve the hegemonists, Laura explained. According to our data, many Council species don't want this war. They're fighting because they fear the hegemonists. So the real enemy is just one species? The Admiral asked. Yes, Olivia confirmed. The hegemonists control the other species through superior technology and threats. If we can break their control, the Council might fall apart, Laura finished. Dr. Moore stepped forward. We've studied the technology from the captured ship. We can improve our weapons and shields, but we need time. Time is something we don't have, the Admiral said. Our major military bases are under attack. Civilian casualties are mounting. Laura studied the tactical display. Earth forces were fighting bravely, but losing ground everywhere. We need to take the fight to them, she said. The 4 modified ships should target the Dominion directly. That's suicide, someone objected. Not if we have help, Laura countered. The Tellurians promise to assist us, but they need to see we can fight back. If we can damage the Dominion, others might join them. After hours of debate, the plan was approved. The 4 Earth ships would launch separately, rendezvous in lunar orbit, then strike the Dominion together. The remaining Earth forces would create diversions to draw away defending Council vessels. Laura returned to the Defiant where her crew was making repairs and upgrades. How bad is it out there? Steve asked quietly. Bad, she admitted, but we have a plan. That night, as the crew rested before the mission, Laura couldn't sleep. She went to the observation room, where she found Olivia staring at Earth through a small window. Beautiful, isn't it? Olivia said, even with Council ships in orbit. We'll get them out of our sky, Laura promised. The Tellurians sent another message, Olivia said. Their representative wants to meet us. Someone named Commander Xen. Where? Lunar orbit. They'll help guide us to the Dominion. Laura considered this. It could be a trap. I don't think so, Olivia said. I've been studying their communications. They sound genuinely afraid of the hegemonists. We'll meet them, Laura decided. But we'll be ready for anything. The next morning, the 4 Earth ships launched within minutes of each other from different locations. The Freedom and Liberty took heavy fire, but managed to break through the Council blockade. The Justice wasn't as lucky. It was hit by multiple weapons and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. Its crew survived, but the ship was lost. The Defiant reached lunar orbit first and waited for the others. On the bridge, tension was high as they scanned for Council patrols. Contact approaching, Olivia reported. Small vessel, not matching Council configurations. Hail them, Laura ordered. A face appeared on screen, humanoid but clearly alien, with silver-blue skin and large eyes. Captain Wells of Earth, the alien said in perfect English. I am Commander Xen of the Tellurians. We have much to discuss and little time. Why should we trust you? Laura asked. Because, like you, we have suffered under hegemonist rule. And because I bring a gift. The camera view widened to show a captured hegemonist ship behind Xen's vessel. How did you get that? Laura asked, suspicious. Many of us serve as crew on their ships, Xen explained. This one experienced a mutiny. Laura allowed herself a small smile. I think we're going to get along, Commander. The Freedom arrived minutes later. Together, the three vessels, 2 human, 1 Tellurian, moved to the dark side of the moon where the massive Dominion waited, surrounded by its protection fleet. Now, Laura said, we strike. The Defiant raced through Earth's atmosphere, pursued by 3 Council ships. Alarms blared on the bridge as the enemy closed in. Evasive maneuvers, Laura ordered. The ship banked hard, throwing the crew against their harnesses. A Council weapon grazed their shields, sending sparks across control panels. Shields at 70%, Olivia reported. We can't take on 3 at once, Dr. Moore said. Laura studied the tactical display. We don't need to fight them all. We need to capture one. Capture? Steve looked shocked. We need their technology and information, Laura explained. Target the lead ship's engines only. The Defiant spun around and fired precisely at the pursuing vessel's propulsion system. The Council ship slowed, drifting helplessly. Now take us into low orbit, Laura ordered. Use the planet for cover. The Defiant dived toward Earth, using cloud cover to temporarily hide from the other pursuers. On the tactical screen, military bases worldwide were under attack. Council ships bombarded defense installations while ground forces fired back with little effect. We need reinforcements, Laura said. Contact Admiral Peterson. The Admiral's face appeared on screen, his command center shaking from nearby impacts. We saw your success, Captain, he said, but we're taking heavy losses. The modified weapons work, sir. We need to equip more ships. We've started converting 3 more vessels with the technology you tested. They'll be ready in hours, not days. We need a diversion until then, Laura said. And I have a plan. We disabled a Council ship. With your permission, we're going to board it. The Admiral hesitated only briefly. Approved. But be careful, Captain. We can't lose you, or the Defiant. Laura assembled a boarding team. Olivia to access their computers, Steve to examine their technology, and 4 Marines with modified weapons. They approached the damaged Council vessel cautiously. No life signs detected, Olivia reported. Either they abandoned ship or they're hiding, Laura finished. Stay alert. They boarded through a damaged airlock. The interior was alien. Curved corridors with strange markings and an atmosphere slightly thicker than Earth's. They moved slowly, weapons ready. In what seemed to be the bridge, they found 3 alien bodies. They weren't what anyone expected. Rather than fearsome warriors, they looked almost fragile, with slender limbs and large, delicate heads. These must be the hegemonists, Olivia said. The species controlling the Council. They don't look very threatening, one Marine commented. They don't need to be, Laura replied. Not with this technology. Steve examined the ship's systems, while Olivia connected a device to what appeared to be a computer terminal. I'm downloading their database, she said. And, wait, I'm receiving a transmission. It's not from the Council. The Arctians? Laura asked. Olivia shook her head. No, It's from another council species called the Tellurians. They say they've been forced to fight for the hegemonists and want to help us. Could be a trap, Laura warned. Maybe, but they're sending tactical data on council fleet movements, and it matches what we're seeing. Laura made a quick decision. Tell them we're listening. Download everything you can from this ship. Steve, what about their weapons? Amazing, he said, examining an alien device. They use a form of plasma containment we never considered. I think we can adapt this to improve our own weapons. Suddenly, the ship shuddered. Outside, 2 more council vessels had arrived and were firing warning shots. Time to go, Laura ordered. They retreated to the Defiant with their new information and samples of alien technology. As they disengaged from the damaged council ship, Laura ordered a precise weapons strike that disabled it completely without destroying it. Why not destroy it? Asked a Marine. Because now every council ship will be ordered to protect it, Laura explained. They can't let us capture their technology. That will keep some of their forces busy while our reinforcements prepare. The Defiant raced back toward Earth, carrying precious data that might turn the tide of the battle. The Tellurians mentioned a command ship, Olivia said, reviewing the new intelligence. It's coordinating the entire invasion from beyond the moon. Laura nodded. Then that's our next target. Behind them, more council ships appeared in Earth orbit, their weapons charging. 4 days until the surrender deadline. 11 days until the main council fleet arrived. The U.S. Defiant no longer looked like a normal warship. Its sleek hull was now covered with alien-inspired modifications. Inside, the crew spaces were cramped, filled with new equipment and wiring. The fusion reactor glowed at the heart of the ship, bathing everything in blue light. Laura walked through the narrow corridors, checking progress. Steve and his team worked non-stop on the reactor. Dr. Moore supervised the weapons installation. Olivia programmed the new defense systems. How's it looking? Laura asked Steve. He wiped sweat from his forehead. The reactor is stable in tests. Power output is 10 times stronger than our best nuclear reactors. And the weapons? They should work, Dr. Moore said, joining them. But we've never fired them. We don't know what will happen. Admiral Peterson called Laura to the command center. On the main screen, satellite images showed Council scout ships entering Earth orbit. They're scanning our major cities, the Admiral said. Looking for military targets, probably. We're not ready yet, Laura said. You have to be. President Miller is addressing the Council tomorrow with our formal response. We expect they'll attack immediately after. Laura returned to the Defiant with the news. They now had less than 24 hours to finish preparations. We need to run a full system test, she told her team. If we power everything up, they might detect us, Olivia warned. We don't have a choice. I won't risk the crew on untested systems. That night, deep underwater, the Defiant ran its first full test. The fusion reactor powered up smoothly. Energy flowed through the ship. Weapon systems charged. Shields formed an invisible bubble around the hull. All systems operational, Steve reported, his voice filled with tired pride. Not bad for 2 weeks' work, Dr. Moore said with a smile. Laura wasn't smiling. Now we just need to survive actual combat. The next morning, President Miller stood before the United Nations. Her speech was broadcast worldwide. Council ships hovered visibly over major cities, a silent threat. We came to this moment honestly, the president said. Humanity has fought wars, made mistakes, damaged our planet. But we have also created art, music, literature. We have shown kindness, courage, and love. We have looked to the stars with wonder, not conquest. She paused, her voice growing stronger. To the Galactic Council, I say this. Earth rejects your terms. We will not surrender our sovereignty. We will not become slaves. If you want our world, you will have to take it. Cheers erupted around the globe. Even those who had advocated surrender now rallied behind her words. The response came within minutes. Council ships positioned themselves over military bases worldwide. Energy readings spiked as they prepared weapons. In the underwater base, Admiral Peterson gave the order. Launch the Defiant. Water churned as massive doors opened in the seafloor. The modified warship rose through bubbling foam, its alien-human hybrid systems humming with power. On the bridge, Laura took the captain's chair. Her crew was small, just 20 volunteers who understood they might not return. Shields at maximum, Olivia reported from her station. Weapons charge, Dr. Moore confirmed. Reactor stable, Steve added. Laura opened a channel to all Earth Defense Forces. This is Captain Wells of the U.S. Defiant. We are engaging the enemy. Above them, a Council scout ship detected their approach. It turned, energy weapons glowing. They've spotted us, Olivia said. Good, Laura replied. Target their weapons and propulsion systems. Let's show them what we've built. The Defiant accelerated upward, far faster than a normal ship its size. The Council vessel fired first, a beam of energy that would have vaporized any standard human vessel. It splashed harmlessly against the Defiant's shields. Our turn, Laura said. Fire. The modified weapons released a burst of energy unlike anything Earth had produced before. It struck the Council ship midsection, cutting through its own shields like they weren't there. The alien vessel split in two, secondary explosions rippling along its hull. For a moment, silence filled the Defiant's bridge. Then cheers erupted. It works, Steve shouted. Laura allowed herself a small smile. One down. Send word to Admiral Peterson. Above, the rest of the Council fleet turned toward this unexpected threat. They're all coming for us now, Olivia said quietly. Good, Laura replied. That's exactly what we wanted. 25 days until the Council arrived. Project Prometheus worked around the clock. The underground facility buzzed with activity as scientists and engineers raced against time. In a large chamber at the center, a team assembled what looked like a miniature sun contained in rings of metal. Our fusion prototype, Dr. Moore explained to Laura, based partly on designs we found in the alien ship's database. The prototype glowed, then sputtered and died. The engineers sighed in frustration. What's the problem? Laura asked. Containment, Dr. Moore said. We can start the reaction, but can't keep it stable. Laura was about to respond when a young man burst into the room. Paul Jackson was an astronomer who'd been monitoring deep space. We've got movement, he said, out of breath. Multiple objects accelerating toward Earth. Everyone froze. The Council fleet? Dr. Moore asked. Paul nodded. Based on their speed, they'll be here in 15 days, not 25. They lied about their arrival time, Laura said. Just like the Arctians warned us. Admiral Peterson called an emergency meeting. On screen, blurry images showed distant objects moving against the stars. At least 7 large ships, Paul explained. Maybe more we can't see yet. What about our weapons development? The Admiral asked Dr. Moore. We've made progress on adapting their shield technology and energy weapons, she replied. But without a proper power source, they're useless. Laura spoke up. What about the U.S. Defiant? It has the newest nuclear reactors. Not nearly powerful enough, Dr. Moore said. A quiet voice came from the back of the room. Maybe I can help. Everyone turned to see Steve Russell, a young engineer who rarely spoke at meetings. I've been working on something, he continued. A different approach to fusion. Steve showed them diagrams on his tablet. Most of the room didn't understand the complex physics, but Dr. Moore's eyes widened. This could work, she whispered. It's brilliant. Can you build it in 2 weeks? Admiral Peterson asked. With enough people and resources, yes, Steve said. But we'll need a test platform. All eyes turned to Laura. The Defiant, she said. We can modify her. The next day, the U.S. Defiant was secretly moved to an underwater facility off San Diego. Trucks arrived carrying equipment and materials. Security was tight. No one outside the project knew what was happening. Meanwhile, the world waited. President Miller's request for more time had been met with silence from the council. People stocked food and supplies. Some fled cities for rural areas. Others held end-of-the-world parties. On the Defiant, Laura watched as workers ripped out sections of the ship to make room for the new systems. The fusion reactor would go where the mess hall had been. Weapon systems replaced standard missile launchers. Olivia joined her on the deck. I found something else in the alien data. The Council fleet includes ships from different species, but they don't all agree on what to do with Earth. What do you mean? Some Council members seem to think we should be studied, not conquered. There's a divide we might be able to use. Before Laura could respond, alarms blared across the base. Everyone ran to the command center where screens showed a small island in the Pacific. In a flash of light, the island disappeared, replaced by churning water. What just happened? Laura asked. The Council just erased Johnston Atoll, Admiral Peterson said grimly. Uninhabited, but the message is clear. President Miller appeared on screen shortly after, her face grim but determined. Citizens of Earth, she said, the Galactic Council has demonstrated their weapons by destroying Johnston Atoll. They demand our answer within 5 days. After consulting with world leaders, I have one response. Earth will not surrender. Cheers erupted in the command center. How close are we? Laura asked Steve. 3 more days for the reactor, maybe 4 for the weapons integration. Laura looked at the countdown clock on the wall. 12 days until the main council fleet arrived. 5 days until their deadline for surrender. Work faster, she said. Laura and Olivia took the hidden message straight to Admiral Frank Peterson. His office walls were covered with naval awards and family photos. Today, none of that seemed important. This better be good, Captain Wells, the Admiral said. I have 17 crisis meetings scheduled today. Laura placed the tablet on his desk. Sir, we found a second message hidden inside the Council transmission. The Admiral looked skeptical but motioned for her to continue. It's from a species called the Arctians, Laura explained. According to this, they were nearly wiped out by the Council centuries ago. Olivia stepped forward. The message was encrypted using mathematical principles. It took me all night to decode it fully. She pulled up the translation on the tablet. The message was simple but chilling. Humans of Earth, the Council does not bring peace. They harvest worlds for resources and genetic material. We, the Arctians, fought and lost. Most of us died. We have hidden and watched. You have technology they do not expect. Your nuclear fusion research, quantum computing, and neural interfaces could be developed to fight them. You have 27 days. Prepare or perish. Admiral Peterson read it twice. This could be a trick. Maybe the Council wants us to waste resources preparing for the wrong type of threat. Or it could be our only warning, Laura said. The Admiral stared out his window at the naval yard below. Who else knows about this? Just us, sir. Keep it that way for now. I need to make some calls. 3 hours later, Laura and Olivia were brought to a secure underground facility beneath the Pentagon. 5 people sat around a table, military leaders and scientists with the highest security clearances. Tell them what you told me, Admiral Peterson said. Laura explained their discovery. When she finished, a woman with short gray hair spoke up. I'm Dr. Kate Moore, Director of Special Projects. For 6 years, we've been studying alien technology. Laura and Olivia exchanged shocked glances. In 2029, something crashed in Alaska. Dr. Moore continued. Not a meteor, a ship, small, probably a scout vessel. There was one occupant, already dead. We've kept it secret to prevent panic. She showed them photos of a sleek craft, nothing like human designs. We've made progress understanding their propulsion and energy systems, Dr. Moore said. But we're stuck on power generation. Their technology needs more energy than we can produce. Admiral Peterson leaned forward. If this hidden message is true, we need to accelerate development. Captain Wells, Dr. Davis, You're both being reassigned to Project Prometheus, effective immediately. What about the Council's arrival? Laura asked. President Miller is playing for time. She's sending a response asking for clarification on several points. Diplomatic stalling tactics. That night, Laura couldn't sleep. She stood at her apartment window, looking at the stars. Her phone buzzed with a news alert. The president would address the nation in 10 minutes. Laura turned on her TV just as President Miller appeared behind a podium. My fellow Americans, citizens of Earth, she began. As you know, we have received a message from an organization calling itself the Galactic Council. Today, I responded to that message. I have requested additional information about their intentions and the benefits of this integration. I have also requested more time for our world to prepare for such a momentous change. What the president didn't say was more important than what she did. No mention of surrender. No mention of resistance either. The next morning, Laura arrived at a nondescript building in Nevada. Inside, she found a massive underground complex bustling with activity. Olivia was already there, working with a team of programmers. They've given me access to everything, Olivia said excitedly. The ship's computer systems are amazing. But look at this. She showed Laura a star map from the alien craft. One system was marked with a symbol. The Arxians included coordinates in their hidden message, Olivia explained. It matches this location exactly. What's there? Laura asked. I don't know. But the alien ship was headed there when it crashed. Dr. Moore joined them, looking tired but determined. We may have found something. The Arxian message mentioned nuclear fusion. We've been trying to adapt alien power cells to work with our technology. What if we're thinking about this backward? What do you mean? Laura asked. Dr. Moore smiled grimly. What if, instead of adapting their tech to our power sources, we build a new power source based on their principles? Can we do that in 26 days? Olivia asked. We have to try, Dr. Moore said. Because if that message is right, surrender isn't an option. The message came on a Tuesday. Dr. Alan Grant was drinking his third cup of coffee when the computers at NASA's Communications Center in Houston started beeping. At first, he thought it was a system error. Then he saw the pattern, a clear, repeating signal from deep space. Not random, not natural. Someone called Director Phillips. Alan said, his voice steady despite his racing heart. We're receiving a transmission. Within hours, the best minds in the world gathered to analyze the message. It took 3 days to translate it. When they finally did, Alan wished they hadn't. People of Earth, the message began. You are hereby contacted by the Galactic Council, governing body of the 47 sentient species of the Milky Way galaxy. Your isolated development has been monitored for centuries. The time has come for your integration. The message continued with cold precision. Earth was classified as a Class 4 developing species. Humans would surrender all military capabilities. Earth's resources would be managed by Council representatives. Human movement beyond the atmosphere would require permission. You have 30 Earth days to prepare for our arrival and formally surrender your sovereignty. Resistance is inadvisable and will result in forceful pacification. President Susan Miller was woken at 3 a.m. to hear the news. By sunrise, she was meeting with her advisors in the White House bunker. Could this be a hoax? She asked, hoping against hope. No, Madam President, said Defense Secretary Bill Kelly. The signal came from beyond our solar system. We've confirmed it with radio telescopes on 5 continents. What are our options? The room fell silent until General Maria Ruiz spoke up. We fight. With what? Asked Secretary Kelly. If they can travel between stars, their weapons must be centuries beyond ours. We still have to try, Ruiz insisted. President Miller called an emergency United Nations session. For the first time in history, every nation on Earth faced the same threat. Old enemies sat side by side as the translated message played on screens around the General Assembly Hall. Some nations wanted to surrender immediately. Others called for massive military preparation. A few suggested trying to hide evidence of human civilization, a plan quickly dismissed as impossible. Meanwhile, on the newly commissioned warship U.S. Defiant, Captain Laura Wells reviewed the transmission for the 12th time. Something bothered her about it. Not the message itself, but something in the background data. Laura had spent years studying communication systems before joining the Navy. She noticed patterns in the signal that didn't match the translation algorithm. "Computer, isolate frequency bands delta through kappa," she said. The screen changed, showing new data patterns hidden beneath the main message. "What the hell?" Laura whispered. She downloaded the data to a secure drive and called her old college roommate, Dr. Olivia Davis, who now worked in advanced computing at MIT. "Liv, I'm sending you something. Look at it immediately. Don't share it with anyone else." "What is it?" Olivia asked. I think there's a hidden message in the alien transmission. A second signal buried under the first." Laura didn't sleep that night. Neither did most of humanity. People prayed, partied, rioted, or simply stared at the stars with new eyes. Churches filled. Suicide rates spiked. Gun sales soared. The next morning, Laura received a message from Olivia. "You're right. Coming to you. Don't tell anyone." Hours later, Laura met Olivia on the deck of the Defiant as it sat docked at Naval Station Norfolk. Olivia looked like she hadn't slept in days. "What did you find?" Laura asked. Olivia handed her a tablet. "The Council isn't telling us everything. There's another message hidden in the signal from someone else. Someone called the Arctians." "What does it say?" "It says the Council is lying. They don't integrate planets. They harvest them." Laura felt cold despite the warm Virginia sun. "We need to tell someone." "Who would believe us?" "We need proof." "Then we'll get proof," Laura said, looking up at the stars that no longer seemed so distant or friendly. The clock was ticking. 27 days until the Council arrived.